here on the channel today that we're going to be installing. As you guys know, last week we installed a Holley Terminator X system, and we went out and we made a couple street pulls, started doing a little bit of data logging, trying to build a fuel table. Today we got a couple sensors that we didn't get hooked up, get our laptop back over here and go back out on the street and start building some more of our fuel table. What I didn't know is that you could take the learn table and actually transfer it to the base fuel table and not actually put that stuff in manually by taking the car out, getting heat cycled, doing a little bit of street tuning, and getting it close to where we needed to go. When we get into the dyno, we'll be able to start making some good wide open throttle fuel table adjustments and start dialing it in. Let me show you what I got sitting here on the table. When we made that Holley Terminator X install video, we zip tied our oil and our fuel up over here to the side because we had to order 2 new low dollar sensors. We had the mechanical oil and the mechanical fuel already hooked up, so we weren't really worried about it at that point in time. Today, I think we're gonna go ahead and get these sensors hooked up so Holley could monitor them. And there was one thing that was really cool about doing the install on the Terminator X is I was able to get rid of a bunch of gauges. Holley's controlling them all. Eventually, we're gonna end up putting the 6.8 Holley dash in and probably just getting rid of the tack and everything else that sits here on my dash. I'm definitely gonna probably get rid of this oil gauge sitting here on the panel. We could have went Holley Terminator X several years ago, and we probably should have in at least one of my 2 cars, but we were doing pretty good with the A9L. I think we achieved some pretty respectable feats on the old stock harness A9L with the modes quadors. But you know, it was time for a change. I wanted to learn the install, and I was kind of already familiar with the Holley software anyways, but there's still a lot of stuff in there that I gotta learn, and I'm gonna try to bring as much of that to the channel as I can. Now what I have here is 2 low dollar 150 PSI transducers, sensors, whatever you wanna call it. In the Holley software, I've already done the calibration for it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've probably opened up that Holley software 50 times since I've installed this. It's almost like a video game. Like, brings out the OCD in me when it comes to tuning and performance. It's kind of crazy because I just keep making adjustments, and I guess that's one way to learn. It's how we learned binary editor. We just did shit and it either worked or it didn't. I just hope we don't blow our motor up. There's a couple other items we're going to be talking about soon here. It's going to make a significant difference. I think we're going to go ahead and get the oil sensor in. I think that's going to be a pretty easy install. You got the T-block there coming off the block, and this sensor should just screw right into that spot. Though, let me make sure that the oil's even going to extend that far. And move it over. See, I don't think there's gonna be an issue getting over there. So the way this harness probably is supposed to work is it's supposed to be behind the distributor, if you guys see it like this right here. Run it up along with our TFI harness. Just kind of zip tie into some stuff up here. Just move that out of the way for now. I'm just kind of bringing the block up. Had a little bit of room to move. Be able to put my low dollar transducer right there on that block. Not a big deal. Plug it in. Let me go ahead and test fit this. Put a little thread sealant on it real quick. Go ahead and plug this in. All right, locked in. So I'll just tie this up here and get it out of the way. Fire up the laptop to make sure that the oil actually works. I did just get a handheld mount that uses a GoPro thing in the mail. It's a pretty cool little eBay item that I found. And if there's one thing, when you get Holley installed, you're gonna be amazed on how many gauges you actually physically take out of your car. And all the wires and all the stuff. To be honest with you, it's probably time for that tack to go ahead and disappear. With the possibility of us going with a 6.8 with the Holley dash and kind of just integrating the whole thing into that and just letting it monitor from there. We'll go ahead and fire this thing up. Now we'll see if we get some oil pressure, which should end up right here. And we'll do the same for the fuel gauge. Yep. So it looks like we got a good sensor set up there. We're gonna do the fuel real quick. So we're gonna pop the old RC comp out, jack the car up. As I got my regulator here in the wheel well. I had somebody actually tell me in one of my videos that the map sensor might catch a little vibration and might mess the map sensor up, and they've had it happen to them once before. If you guys know what the mount is for those transducers to kind of mount them on like walls and like kind of mount them off to the side, not actually on the engine, Let me know in the comments what you got. I would like to maybe move that map sensor back here to the wall where the old one was. That would be a good spot for it. And either run the fuel transducer there or bring it up in here in the wheel well. But let's get this wheel off. You know, go out there and do a little bit of street tuning a little bit to build a fuel table and so we're running an elbow here, and then I'll run it up into the, I'm gonna order like a 6-inch fuel line. Forgot I had the old O2 in here still. Yep, looks like this would be a really good spot for it. And get a mount, put it right on the back side of this. Shorten up the hose and put it right here. So we're just gonna zip tie this up for now, plug this in and make sure everything's functional. All right, let me cycle the key to make sure it's not gonna leak. It's only a temporary spot for it until we get the mount. We're just now learning this Holley software. We knew how to tune on binary editor, and a lot of the stuff like my timing table I haven't even really messed with too much, but I know I could actually transfer a lot of that from my old binary file and just kind of like copy and paste some of that stuff in and just kind of work the resolution in the cells. But right now I need to get a little bit of a good base fuel map just to kind of get started. I mean, we got a lot of work to do. Let's fire it up and see if the fuel pressure works. So I couldn't figure out for the life of me why it was running like so bad and so rough. My coolant temp sensor, my extra harness that I made, pulled one of the pins out. And on my handheld, it kept reading an error at the CTS. So that's one thing that's really nice about this. It tells you what's wrong with your shit. I'm gonna set up another camera just in case. Camera mount. I mean, it is about 40 degrees out, so we're not really going to get into too much boost, but you can see my table over here kind of learning itself. And we'll transfer those values when we stop up here. Baby, learner. I don't have a whole lot of timing in the tune. Like I had mentioned back there, we haven't really built much timing, especially in the boost. It's like 12 or 14 degrees all the way through the map. So it's, you know, I've already set static timing. So I'm not real worried about getting into a little bit of boost, you know, in the tune a little bit. So I guess the way it was explained to me, that my learn table here that I keep showing you guys, eventually it's going to get to the point to where the self-learning, where you could almost shut the table off, because everything wide open throttle and park drivability or whatever is all going to be fixed. No, because it's going to correct it, and I'm going to send it to the table. We'll do the wide open throttle stuff at the dyno, but $170 degrees on the engine, not bad. talking about when we get back. I'm gonna have to get some more fuel and put in this. Very nice. And here's the learning curve, as you can see. Pretty big map of green here. So what I'm actually going to do is, we just now starting to kind of get in the boost a little bit here, adding a little bit of percentage. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to base. Then I'm going to save it. It's definitely starting to figure itself out a little bit. Got a little bit of startup enrichment. Got some startup stuff that we got to do. One more look at the dash. Looks like the oil pressure is about 45. I don't have a high volume in that anyways. Fuel pressure's at 48. AFR is nice. RPM's right at 900. I like it. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I got for you for the video. We went out for a ride, got a couple sensors hooked up. We're going to make them a little bit better. Grab a couple of those transducer mounts, maybe relocate the map, shorten up the fuel hose, put the sensor on the wall. But today overall was an overwhelming success. Pretty happy with Holley. Can't wait to get over to the dyno. We'll do a couple more street pulls when it gets a little bit warmer. Try to get the air fuel and the target fuel and the timing all set up. It's like a video game. I told y'all, I'm enjoying the shit out of this. Let me guys know what you guys think about this. I don't really know if it even worked. This is like the first time I'm using it. I've had it forever. Whatever I learned on Holley, I'm going to try to bring here on the channel. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think below. If you enjoy the channel, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out that join button, as there's exclusive content for the members of the channel. Outside that, appreciate you watching. See you soon in the next one.